Again, it would make it simpler being like a commercial building in R2A. You'd be making the same, like, well, it's for the cemetery for them to build a storage yard across the street on a separate parcel, but parcel by parcel, it's not even necessarily an accessory structure at that point. It's a primary structure. And so a storage building or anything would sort of be more advisable for commercial zoning. I will also say the water and sewer on these parcels are pseudo-served. The water is very easy. That one is served. The sewer was designed and easily extendable from the hospital during the construction of the hospital, but currently does not exist on the parcels. It terminates, let's see if I can turn on an aerial. It terminates about, I'm going to say about 50 feet short of the boundary. It's about right here. It would have to be extended into the plat for anybody who wanted water and sewer in those facilities. I wish my aerial had the hospital on here. It'd make a lot more sense. This one kind of does. Yeah, the sewer terminates right on this corner. The extended boundary.
Would you like to add anything on behalf of the applicant?
No, just that this kind of cleans up what he's talking about with the additional uses and keeps the zoning kind of in line with what our growth and council's growth.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission for the applicant? In that case, would you like to make any public comment?
Sure.
And please, yeah, and please state your name for the record.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Paul Ulrich. I'm a landowner, contiguous. I'm kind of show you where I am. So you can zoom out.
Yeah.
Let's not just a little bit from where I'm here today. Perfect. You want to zoom up a little bit? Okay. My property is the property that is contiguous to the cemetery on the north side. I've got approximately 5 acres there.
That one right there?
Yep, 3 or 4. The reason I wanted to come chat today is just to chat a little bit about water and irrigation. We're part of the Highland Irrigation District. And hard to see, but my ditch runs there. It crosses underneath Fremont Lake Road. It crosses that little weird triangle of the town. Yeah, right through there. And then it cuts through the cemetery. And yeah, roughly a little farther down, roughly in that general area, that's where I gain access to water. Overall, I think the zone change, doesn't have any direct immediate impact on me at all. I just want to make sure that as this moves forward with any commercial development or changes to ownership to either what's on the west side of Fremont Lake Road or on the east side, in particular on the northeast side, that my water rights are protected and that ditch is protected. That's my only source of irrigation water. It is a bear to maintain. First and foremost is because I don't own 2/3 of it. Water rights I do, but I have to go clean that up through both the town section and then that little goofy other town section on the west. So I just wanted to raise that issue. I think the zoning rechange makes a lot of sense. I just want to make sure my water rights are protected as this moves forward. And secondarily ask, are there any immediate plans in the near future if this is rezoned to commercial for development on this parcel from the cemetery or the hospital district? I hadn't heard anything. I know this is sort of preliminary, but I was curious if there were any actual plans.
So this is not this is about what I have. So I do know that the cemetery they sat down with the town because they would like to move faster than the hospital. The hospital, from my understanding, has no immediate plans, but the town has been very careful that we know that the hospital can't really grow anywhere else except for this piece. And so the towns, at least the priorities that have been forwarded to me is to make sure the hospital is number one, taken care of, and part of the discussions before any land is sold to anybody else. The cemetery would like to build a storage building for tractors, equipment, and other lawn care type stuff. And my understanding is they're wanting to build it, kind of tucked back here in the willows or something where they can access it from the other side of the road, and make sure that they have a large enough parking area that when they do have funerals and activities, that people aren't parked all over the road. And I think that's the only plans I have heard at this time. I don't have exact, so.
Commissioner, that's it. Yeah, I just
Sure.
want to make sure it's noted that, I am concerned if there is development, especially along that ditch and on the west side, water rights are acknowledged and noted and protected.
Sure. I think Abe could also expand on how the best ditch was maintained through the hospital project. They did have to move that ditch, but they were definitely very, accommodating of that.
Yeah.
And making sure the water rights were maintained.
Yeah, that one definitely got moved, and it was lined for some concerns just because the volume of water that goes that one's a little bit bigger than what goes down to you guys. I'm going to put a note in here. So the town, before the town could sell a piece of, the town is actually exempt from subdivision laws for the town of Pinedale. So the town can say, do an hour, like a record or survey and sell pieces of it. But when we develop that final plat, I think it would be wise for the town to say, hey, we should grant an easement, a ditch easement through here on your ditch, and to benefit of your property and any other water right holders that are below it. That way you have legal access to maintain, et cetera. And no one can then build over that easement line without being in contact with the person who owns it, right? And that could be a very easy thing for us to grant through that process.
Commissioner, that yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure an easement doesn't exist, but I don't know. My property is, I think, it's in the county.
Yeah.
Which is new to start with, based on, I'm getting surrounded on all sides. But that's the only reason I'm here. The cemetery has been great as a neighbor for quite some time. The hospital district doing a great job. Fully supportive. I just want to make sure that it's noted my concerns.
Of course. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I will say I did speak with two other nearby property owners that have spoken with me. One was fine with it, didn't have any concern. The other one was concerned primarily about increased commercial development, lighting more than anything, lighting or noise or stuff that is more customary with commercial. I thought she might show up tonight. She may show up in the future. I told her to either A, write me a letter so I could forward it along, or B, show up. I don't see that member of the public here, but I will share that I've had that conversation. So she was going to think about it more. I haven't received it.
If I might add, I had conversation with, I suspect the same member of the public, not specific to the rezone, but concerned about the amount of light from the hospital, particularly on the backside where there's residents, and she had wondered if that could be adjusted or something so it's not so bright on the backside or something. So that's maybe something for you to take to your board, but I hadn't had any discussion related specifically to the rezone on that.
Okay. Other questions or comments from the commission?
One thing I'm thinking about to address your comment about the potential for these things to already be covered. I suspect if it was the hospital that was running those, it probably would be fine. But I'm just concerned that if they're renting them out to other leasees or whatever, that maybe that would be where it wouldn't fall under that same hospital use necessarily. So,
And I think we would have to abandon lot lines or get creative on how we do lot lines, because it's a standalone parcel. And so it's not accessory use when it's on its own parcel. So, which is possibly maybe something the hospital, I'm sure they wouldn't mind cleaning up lot boundaries to make that reasonable and doable, but.
Yeah, could the parcels be combined so that whatever's over there is in the same parcel as the hospital?
At this point, no, because we don't have any other lot. We don't know what is getting sold, but at some point,
yeah, the
yes.
ownership is different right now.
As long as there was some physical connection, which I assume they're going to be touching in some way, right? So as long as they were touching, then I don't see why it couldn't. I just think we would have to sell them a parcel, and then they would probably have to just affidavit or combine them in some fashion with the clerk's office, the county clerk's office, land records office, so that we could, before they could issue a building permit, if it was going to be an accessory structure. If it's its own standalone, obviously we could come in for a building permit on a standalone parcel.
So the plan is to rezone this to commercial, at which point the town would be developing? No.
The town would subdivide and mark off to, and then so state statute allows the town to sell property in just a couple ways. One is public auction, and the other is like government to government transfer. So there would be public meetings to discuss what portions of land if it was going to go government to government. And that would have to be advertised in the paper that the town of Pinedale was going to transfer this land to a government to government transfer, the Suffolk County Hospital District, for this amount of money. It's all published in the paper. That's the only way the town can legally dispose of property without either deeming it valueless or something of that nature, but either public auction or government to government. And this would be a government to government transfer. Or I guess the town could say they're going to divvy it up and go to public auction, but I haven't heard no decision of that. But
And that's the other thing, if there's anybody that's concerned about we make this commercial and then what goes there, that's the intent. And what we feel is best for the town is for this to support the hospital and the cemetery. So I don't see any scenario in which this doesn't go to those purposes.
I mean, is there a regulation on that? Like, or once it's commercial, I mean, technically whoever buys it could put whatever they wanted to there. Is that correct?
yeah, we sell it to, say it does get sold to cemetery or hospital.
Yeah.
As long as they meet the zoning requirements of the town of Pinedale, they can build whatever they can drum up. Yes, that meets within those codes.
Okay. And it is likely that those folks would be purchasing.
I don't think the town would sell it to anybody else.
Oh, okay.
I literally.
Well, and that's where the stipulation comes, like we're allowed to sell it directly to other government entities, but if it was to go to something else, it would have to be an auction, and that opens things up in a way that the town is not interested.
And that's government state statute. The town can't put this on the market.
Right.
And sell it to somebody with options.
So it sounds like, okay. So it sounds like there's no concern that any use would be permitted here or would happen here that was not accessory to either the cemetery or hospital. Okay. To that point, I'm happy recommending an approval for this. If that's the case.
Like to make that motion?
You can try.
And sorry to back up, we might be making 2 separate motions, Abe. Voting on, or just one D1 map amendment.
It's just the map.
Okay. If I read just the D1 text or A and B, shall I read them all?
I think it would be cleaner to recommend approval of the map amendment, rezoning a portion of the town of Pinedale, and then A and B. And I think that would be the best.
Okay. I make a motion to recommend the approval of the rezone map amendment pursuant to section 160-23 as defined by points A and B.
That works for me, and I'll define those inside of the minutes.
Okay,
Do you want to include a recommendation to address the concerns of the?
yes. Yeah, with the recommendation to preserve and protect the water rights of Paul Ulrich. Or anybody who owns that property subsequent.
Or any rights.
Who owns the property rights, yeah. Or the water rights, maybe
Yeah.
the cleaner way. I'll second that if nobody else wants to. I was gonna hold off, but y'all are quiet.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion before our vote?
I was just curious, Abe, do you know the citation to the statute that would say that the property could only be transferred to another government entity
Or sold by auction.
or sold?
It's how the town, I mean, it's going to be in Title 15, Wyoming State statute.
So I guess, I mean, it seems like the intent is clear and good and something everyone gets behind. And it also, it doesn't seem like commercial in this area would bother me or apparently bothers anyone because no one's here today to talk against it. I do just have a little bit of a concern if everything could be addressed just as an accessory use without changing the map. And then if there is the possibility that it gets sold at a public auction and then somebody who is supposed to put in a coffee shop or office building that was going to be rented out or something takes it in another direction that wasn't intended, maybe that the town didn't even think was going to happen, but once it's someone's private property and zone commercial, they could do as they wish. I guess that's where I am just a little hung up. I don't want to stand in the way of the hospital having everything it needs to expand and be as effective as possible. But I worry about doing more and earlier than is actually necessary to address that goal. So sorry, I kind of you were answering my question and then I started.
No, I think I can answer your question. Like, do I think it can be done? I don't know. I think it's going to cause a lot of frustration when it comes to building permit process, especially if there's separate parcels. Maybe there's 3 or 4 parcels. I don't know how that will look out once the town sells parcels. It doesn't alleviate the hospital district from taking their chunk and saying, we want to make these 3 or 4 parcels and develop this one or that one instead of special development plans. Or I don't know what's going to, so I do think this gives them the greatest flexibility for their campus long term. I really do. I think it's clean. I think it marks our community that this is our hospital campus. This is where it's going to be and to grow. I think it makes sense. I don't think there's any confusion from the public saying, well, this is R2A and now we're putting more commercial on R2A parcel. I don't think there's any of that confusion in the future. Do I think it may be possible for them to do what they want? Possibly, but I do think there could be limitations that brings it to this board and slows any of those processes down at the time. So I don't know. I don't have a great glass ball. I can tell you that the town did not make, I gotta be careful how I say this. The town of Pinedale, through the initial hospital discussions, rezoned a parcel in the town of Pinedale to commercial prior to the hospital getting constructed there in preparation for the hospital. It never happened. That parcel is still zoned commercial in the town of Pinedale. It was privately owned at the time, it's still privately owned. I think that sequence, we were very careful to not make that mistake with the hillside. So like the hospital is an allowed use. Let's focus with the hospital district and getting that built and all the legalities and everything that needed to be done with the USDA on the front. That has been completed, so I do feel a lot more comfortable about doing this at this point than I would have 5 years ago prior to the hospital being constructed on that site.
Is that commercial in Bloomfield that you're referring to?
No.
Rezoned in anticipation?
No, it's now owned by Suffolk.
Okay.
It's located just south of the X-ring. That parcel was originally residential, moved from the commercial at that time. So I shouldn't say it's privately owned. That was a lot. It got bought last year by the Suburban County. Last year.
Or a little longer, maybe. I have a question for Michael, just a clarification. Were you thinking that as we move forward, that the town plans to do a public auction on that land? Because it's the either or of that. So the intent of everything we've talked about at the council level has been about working out a deal with the government entity of the hospital district and the cemetery board. So the town is not considering doing a public auction on that land, if that was a concern. I wasn't sure the way you worded that, if that was how you had interpreted it.
Oh, no, yeah, I have no, reason to doubt the intent is exactly what everyone said. I believe that. I guess my one concern is if we, change the map, that's sort of a done deal, and the intentions now may not be what happens years down the road. So I'm kind of wondering, I guess, two things, whether maybe it's a little premature to do this before we sort of know what the plan is. I guess I get though that there's a chicken and egg quality where maybe the plans can.
The whole thing, keep in mind that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the recommendation of Ed to go this route. And second of all, I think the cemetery district is interested in moving pretty quickly. And in order to sell, we wanted to clean it up and be ready for that. So, obviously you don't need that change for the cemetery district to do what they're wanting to do. So there's that concern, maybe that doesn't.
Yeah, I would argue what they want to do requires a change. I will not be able to permit what the cemetery wants to do.
Oh, okay.
Because what they want to build is on the east side of the road and will clearly be a standalone parcel. It will not be accessory to the cemetery on the other side. And so unless Ed could say these two parcels can somehow, I don't know how you do that. That's an attorney question. Take my junior attorney hat off. So maybe it is possible, but I would certainly be talking to Ed. Is that possible or not? Because those would be two separate parcels.
And I know we had talked about at the town level of it being an easier process than to wait and sell it and make the landowner then go through that. And then they've purchased something that they aren't sure if they can use for what they want prior to having it changed. So
To answer Commissioner Letz's second question, Wyoming State Stat, or I think it was your first question, but Wyoming Statute 15-1-112 is what governs how municipal property can be disposed, sold, exchanged, or otherwise disposed of. And it specifically says for corporate values greater than $500, municipal governments must satisfy strict public notice rules before finalizing sale. Those sales, there's a public advertisement in 3 weeks, has to describe the property, and the sale must take place via public auction. There are exceptions, and under 15-1-112AI, cities and towns may bypass the standard advertising the public auction requirements if they are selling or giving the property to specific entities, including the state of Wyoming, other government entities, for economic development purposes, for real property trades, or for affordable housing development. Those are the exceptions to that process.
Yeah, well, I see the merit, if the cemetery wants to move forward, and also, if it will create a chicken and egg problem where plans can't move forward until the amendment. So I'll withdraw any objection. I was just a little concerned maybe we were making a bigger change than we needed to, but I see the.
Yeah, and I hear your concern. That we've had these exact conversations with the council and Ed, like, is this necessary? Is it not? That's why we're just now getting to it. We feel this is best. So.
I'm similarly apprehensive, but I do think this should move on to the town council and get input from the public there and get the hearings. So, we do have a motion and a second. Recommend approval. Are you guys ready to vote?
Can I, real
Yeah.
quick, I had DeGraff and Reed as the motion and Boyce as the second. Is that correct? Okay, I'm not used to taking the notes here, so. bear with me. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
All in favor, please say aye.
I,
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chair, if I may, just for the public's sake, give clarity on the following, what will come next. So this recommendation and the rezone application will be presented to town council our next meeting, which is next Monday, June 8th. That will be considered under its first read of a law of, considered law change. It will still have to go to 2 other reads. So if it were to go meeting after meeting, it would be June 8th, June 22nd, and July 13th is when these first, second, and third hearings would be. And that would be the opportunity for public to stay engaged in the process.
Okay, thank you very much. That moves us to item E, new business. We have none. Then item F, old business, which is the status of. Thank you.
Thank you.
The status of the commission members. We have a term coming to an end, unfortunately.
Madam Chair, so I did put everybody's, and I may have put them in the wrong spot in the agenda packet, but I did put each of your guys' current appointment expirations inside of the minutes, or I'm sorry, inside the agenda packet right now. Ryan Wells, this will be his last planning and zoning meeting because he is not eligible for reappointment under the planning and zoning commissions as an appointed member of the public. And then Miss Manning, yours also ends. You are eligible. And did you receive your email?
Oh, I don't think I have. Do I need to reapply?
Yes, if you are interested, you need to send a letter in, but the email went out last week saying you're expiring.
Okay, got it.
And if you would like to continue to turn in a letter of interest to do so. The others I have, Michael Lutz appointment ends next June, 2027. Monica DeGraff and Reed, 6/30 of 27. And then the town council rep is Judy Boyce, who is 6/30, 2028, which coincides with her term as a council member. So, or somewhere thereabouts, because I'm going to be honest, the whole election thing confused me when elected officials are actually elected. I think June 1st is actually the start, so yours might be May 30th.
Probably, yeah.
June 30th, but it's a little confusing how that reads. So anyway, that was just for your guys' information. And I did include the code for your guys' reference of kind of what.
Who should I send my letter to?
You can send it to me and I can put it on to the mayor, or you can just send it directly to Mayor Murdoch. So.
Okay. All right, so we all need to be on the lookout for a 5th member. The town of Pinedale.
It will be advertised, you'll see it. in the paper. Which means by our next meeting, likely will probably. I can not currently have a public hearing scheduled, so.
Okay. Excellent. That brings us to the planning and zoning administrator's report. Abe?
Yep. Madam Chair, so inside the report, the first thing I had to report is Chelsea Saunders has moved on from the town of Pinedale, which is why she is not here tonight. Nothing was bad. Chelsea and her her husband or boyfriend have decided that his business, he has launched a pretty significant business that she has been helping with him. They felt it was time that they joined forces. And she was sad to go, but also excited for the next chapter of her life. So I'm super sorry to see her go. Chelsea did an amazing job for the town of Pinedale and was a great team member. She really did do a great job. I think you guys saw in your minutes, and the organization of P&Z has probably never been better than what it was when Chelsea was here. So I'm going to miss her. We are seeking applications right now to fill that position, and hopefully get it filled as soon as possible. It's a difficult position to fill. I feel like it's one of the harder ones the town has, because it's someone who has to, number one, interact with public a lot, have very good administrative skills, and be willing to learn, because there's a lot of things our P&Z does that's tied to projects and kind of more that engineering surveyor world that just not that many people have training in. And attorney world, which thankfully we have a town attorney, but you just spend a lot of time learning, and it's tough. So if you know anybody looking who would fit that bill, that would be fantastic. Tell them about our job position. So second thing, I did want to report back to you guys on the open space. It was discussed at the Park and Tree Board meeting, and they discussed it. They didn't come up with any solid items. Emily's working on the recommendations they did come up with, and is taking it back to them next week. Is this what you meant? And once we have that, the mayor has directed me to say, get the recommendation from Park and Tree, bring it back to town council, and then his recommendation to the council is going to be doing a joint meeting between the Park and Tree Board, the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the town council to discuss that subject. But I think it's going to be greater than that. I think it's going to have a conversation about overall just code and direction, that being one of them. But there's some other things like our master plan and some other, ambiguous things within our code of, hey, how do we best fix these up, and kind of giving some new direction, I hope, hopefully there's a good discussion that can give us good, clean direction for all parties involved with how to proceed forward. Because that one, especially the open space one, definitely goes across 2 advisory commissions and then the town council. So that is the process of that. I'm hoping by next Wednesday, which is when the Park and Tree Board meeting is, that Emily comes out with a document that I can take back to planning or to the town council, their second meeting in June. And then I'll provide you guys an update with what it'll look like from that.
What time is their meeting on next Wednesday?
You were at the last one, weren't you?
Monica and I tuned in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not able to. I had volunteered to do something like months ago. I volunteered to help out with the conference track meet. I had to go get trained on what I was supposed to do. That was when I had to be there. So, all right, Park and Tree is the 10th, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like I did last time, I'll go ahead and send that meeting out, the virtual link, et cetera, that is
cool
there. So that'll be the process. I did have a conversation with our friends on the 70 acres on the southeast side of town again. They have not resubmitted their application. I thought they would by this point in time. I don't think they're going to go for a PUD. They were going to meet with their client and determine what was the best for them. They did come up with some revisions of their current one within our conversation. They got it. They understood the concerns. But I'm wondering if I haven't heard back that maybe they did decide to go PUD. I don't know. They have the code. They have copies of it. Right now, the application is in their court. So main permits are in there, and then our digital permitting, Blue Blade. We've been doing a lot of back-end work with like the GL codes and accounting. It's more of the clerk's office. Our goal is May 15th. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a lot of it, but I haven't seen it on our website yet. I'm really pushing. I know Maureen is doing a fantastic job of pushing those back-end details that I don't know. I don't know how that works. And as soon as those are solved, we will be launching it. The timing as far as finding another planning and zoning administrator, my plan is to handle the permits until that person is on board. And even if that person comes on board and we do not have a new system, I will probably not take the time to train them on our old system, and instead say, you just find the kinks in this one. I'll deal with the kinks in the old one because I know where they are. And I'm hoping that we can make a pretty smooth transition to that, so.
When does the town start doing the business licenses?
So July 1st is when the code becomes effective. We've had conversations with the mayor and staff of like, how does that roll out? And I think there's going to be about a 6 to 12 month process of making sure that we work through the kinks on that, because it's all going to be through this digital platform. And we know there's going to be some hiccups and
People are going to love that.
so it's strange.
Like anything new.
I would say like over half of the comments I've received are all positive. Like every electrician I've talked to is like, thank you, so great. Half the contractors, thank you, we've needed this for so long. People need to be held accountable, especially the ones that are fly by night, come in and do something. And those are the hardest ones to catch under a code anyway. So enforcement will be challenging. And then obviously there's those that are like, oh, just one more thing I got to deal with, right? And I would say that from my perspective, and people who have called and talked to me, and I've dealt more with the contracting crew of people, I would say I've received way more positive than negative. So I don't know, it will be interesting.
For Chelsea's job, is it public information what that salary is?
Yeah, it's the range is published.
So that we can know who to talk to?
I believe it's the pay scale. I mean, I definitely need to like look it up here. Sometimes we don't publish those with the items, but it's public information. I just got to get to the right. I believe it's somewhere between $19 and $23 an hour.
Okay.
The town benefits is where I'm gonna put that wage range.
Mm-hmm.
So 40 to 45,000 a year with state retirement and the health package, et cetera, that the town has.
Okay.
Okay. Last but not least in the report, I will make one mention, like, I don't know what's going on in the town of Pinedale, but the number of commercial inquiries continues to just be through the roof. Like, I sit down with a new commercial inquiry every week. And some of them, you can see it around town. There's been several improvements made to local businesses. A lot of businesses have cleaned up their parking lots or buildings or expansions, enlargements. We have the commercial building permit for the Fairbanks property, which is the old locker plant. Everybody is doing a very good job. I'm really happy with, Mountain Mamas has done a really great job of going through the process and doing everything they want to do. I think they're a little further behind than they wanted to be. I think they wanted to open June 1st originally. I think they missed their deadline, but I was in there the other day. It's beautiful. She's done an amazing job. She's been really nice to work with. And so our commercial applicants, I think this year have been top notch. And I think people really are trying to invest in it now, which is good.
A question on the locker plant.
Yes.
They said they had to leave those walls up. Is that for like a town thing or is it a state DOT thing? Because they just mentioned they needed to be grandfathered in and they couldn't knock the walls down and rebuild because it would change where they could build. Do you think that's the state highway right away issue?
Yeah, I'm not.
Are they too close to the front, to the?
I don't.
Or is it town?
I don't know. I guess I haven't seen any. I have no concerns where it's located. When I look at the setbacks, I feel like it meets the setbacks unless that front wall somehow is into the.
It's right on the sidewalk. There is no buffer. So
the
it's
setback is
possible.
0, but I don't know. I guess it's possible it's a few inches over. I don't know.
Just eyeballing it on the GIS, it's not.
Well, I wonder if the alley though, because they're right on.
Yeah, they're like 5 feet from the alley. Maybe a little more.
How about the house that
They have a little space over there too. I'm not aware of any setback concerns that I have or have had any conversations.
That just looks like the roof eave.
Yeah, because like where is the line on that building?
Just curious.
I'm not aware of one, and I'm sifting through conversations in my head.
Oh.
I don't remember saying that.
So I was just thinking, I would not want to be the person trying to, keep those 4 walls.
I know.
Right.
I agree. So
if they accidentally fall down, does that count as? Are they going to have a problem?
I had the opportunity to be the architect on that one.
Are you?
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. My rate was too high. So I have no information.
That's reassuring. They want a really cheap architect. Best kind.
Who was the architect on the submission?
I can look that up.
Okay.
Like it was Jackson.
Really? Okay. That doesn't check out in terms of the rate.
Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
There you go.
And sorry, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's all I have to report.
My evergreen question is how things are going at Horn Crossing.
So the curb machine did not show up as scheduled. I spoke with Eric last week. He said, Eric, yeah. I said, well, I went out and staked all the curb and gutter and they prepped all the curb and gutter, but the curb machine is not here. He said he'd be in touch with me when they got it. The dates from town council are unchanged. So they have 30 days. They did substantial completion, which is a tall order. So I guess we shall see. There have been no other building permits issued at Pinedale Crossing.
A question going back to your statement before about having a lot of interest in commercial. Are you mostly hearing from people who want to build a new building or renovate an older location?
Most have been older locations or trying to find a location. Can we do this in this location, et cetera. There has been a few that have taken pretty underutilized property and considered demolition of an old building and putting like a small like cabin style hotel on and some different things. And so most have been I can't think of a single one, honestly, that's a blank lot that someone's building on. It's all been either refurbishing or addition to existing facilities. So.
Right.
There's a lot of new paved parking lots in town. I don't know if you've noticed all these.
There's a lot of what?
New paved parking.
Yes.
Parking lots in town.
Where? Well, the one we approved.
So that one.
Country Lane.
The Country Lane just got done.
Oh.
The rumbling, I was Chair Oboes has been in touch about getting theirs done. So there's a lot of, and then
And there's a lot of positive, I feel like there's a lot of positive changes in places like Oboes and Sinclair and, places like that. I think that it feels like a refresh for the town.
Yeah, it really does.
almost every, gas station you walk into looks different.
Yeah. And it looks nice. It's all good upgrades.
I saw them put their sign up the other day for Pinedale Eats.
Yes, I saw that. I think they're supposed to have a ceremony next week during WHAM.
Behind the post office?
That's in the Sinclair.
Oh,
Where Subway was.
Oh, really?
The post office is crazy.
What is it?
They're doing their thing.
They're open. Yeah, they're working with us. They have state fire marshal approval completed. They got their grease interceptor put in. The last thing, they have one thing fixed on their water. They do have different backflow preventer on the water system. But they're, we've kind of given them a, hey, get this solved, but we're not going to shut you down type of deal with an operating. So I think they're there way earlier than I'm going to wake up.
Cool.
Sorry, one more question on Pronghorn Crossing. I see another property was sold in March of this year, and I've seen lights on at night, and it does seem to be occupied.
So if it was one of the ones that was granted during the town council, like there's been no building permits since the extension given by council. And there was like 3 or 4 exemptions given for the buildings that were ongoing. And so it's probably one of those, I suspect. And those were given an exemption to occupy.
Oh,
Pending this.
more than one home
There
received
was,
exemption?
do you remember?
I feel like there was 4.
Okay.
3 or 4. They're all on that north end.
Mm.
And they were given that, given an exemption with these deadlines that are in place.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? I think we can go ahead and, or yeah, I guess any general commission member comments?
Well, thanks, Ryan, for
6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you. I mean, thinking back, I've been just sitting here thinking back on how much this board has changed over the years. And it really has changed for the better. And I think a lot of that has to do with our staff over there. So thank you, Mr. Pierce, and the town council and the mayor. And I mean, yeah, just to put it in perspective, things were pretty unorganized back then.
Yes, they were.
I mean, there was not a lot of advertising going on for public hearings. It was pretty rough, right? And yeah, thinking about all the different public hearings that we've had since then and the way we've improved, even just doing the Pledge of Allegiance makes a difference. And I think it really adds to the respectability of our town and the functionality of our town and how we are managing and stewarding the planning and zoning in Pinedale. And so I'm proud of what we've done over the last 6 years. I'm especially proud of the Airbnb stuff that we did. That was highly controversial. I can't imagine what Pinedale would be like without that. Really, you know. And the PUD stuff, I hope to see that keep going in the future. Yeah, you know, I think you all feel this way, but planning and zoning is so important, I think, because development is a permanent, mostly permanent impact on where we live. I mean, once something is developed, it could be reclaimed back into what it was before, but it's highly unlikely. The next 200 years, 300 years, who knows? And it seems to me that there's always opportunities to do it right or to do it fast and quick and lazy, right? And if you do it right, it doesn't even necessarily need to cost much more money. It can, but it doesn't have to, but it can benefit the people who live here and are visiting through, you know, for a long time. And so that's why it's important, right? So anyway, thanks for the opportunity. It's been good. So learned a lot.
I wish you could keep going on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll run for the county or something.
I think you can actually. Here.
Hey, you just take a break. You can come back. You come back.
Yeah, and then there is a
Yeah.
spot open at the county, so you could get your P&C fit.
No. Yeah.
They could use your
Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah, and they're just rewriting the entire code all at once.
I know
so
that's what's, yeah.
Easy.
An opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, our code could probably use that, but I do not have the energy to do that.
I think it's been about a year since they've had real movement on that, and they've been working on it for 5 or 6 years.
I don't know how you do it. I mean, when you touch it, you touch everybody's property value in some either real or not real way, but definitely perceived ways, you know. So it's hard. That's really hard to do. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We're lucky we get to see you here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, applicant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, for our next meeting, July 6th, we're a little close to the holiday, but I think that July 6th Monday should be fine. Everyone should be back unless our staff doesn't want to spend the 4th of July prepping for our meeting.
I mean, I don't see any problems. Our staff can be running a strange schedule that week, just because the 4th is on Saturday. We work the 4th, and so we have to go to council and figure out what day we're gonna honor the 4th. I don't have a problem having a meeting on the 6th, even if that's a holiday for the town. Just how else you're gonna put it, we start moving stuff around, it's hard, especially I mean, there's just a lot going on. Rendezvous, and it's kind of nice to not have a public hearing that day. Honestly, it could be one of those that is a very brief meeting. We may not have a lot to talk about, so.
Okay, does that work for our commissioners?
I think so.
July 6th, 5 PM? Okay. Very good. And with that, I have a motion to adjourn.
Is that one ready?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same signs. Meeting is adjourned.
More motion.
Yeah.
That's a solid motion.
You want this back, I was sure you brought this over here, but that'll have to
Let me
be,
make sure I got it right.
yeah, that looks good.
Says that it works for you, I'll make these corrections. I'll send it to you. I'll just email you, right, if that works. Can you digitally sign it?
Yeah, that's what Chelsea did.
Perfect. So I just wanted to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. I'll get those over to you. I'm sure at some point, most of the time I second the third read at town council, and everybody seems to catch wind of it. Why it takes so long. But I was expecting more people tonight.
Interesting.
I suspect, I've never been through a rezone that didn't. Pretty serious concerns from neighbors.
So how much longer?
It was a smart, they,
Are there very many
they did.
neighbors with like homes in that area?
They're almost all counties. So there's one town.
They'll advertise for
And the
the
rest of the counties.
to come.
I'd say there's like.
Does he get a little buffer
And
over living in?
then you got the south, you have,
Mountain Road.
yeah, the mountain, off the hill.
I'll try.
I really would like to do it.
Do the county residents get notice,
Yes.
even if it's a town thing? Okay.
Yep, everybody was 140 feet without right of way.
And-
Some town.
Sounds like just, you know, when you're in
So the
bed.
gentleman from yours is a county. But
Brain.
So my whole head's growing.
we ran into this actually at the ball field. We had to issue a variance for this. We had to go through the variance. And it's like, nope, it's 140 feet. It doesn't decipher if it's a town citizen.
Judy, how long have you been doing that? So
It's 2019.
right before I started.
Must have been right before you. I'm pretty sure that I was before you, but,
Two by you
and I
guys.
had addressed that with Matt last year. I was like, well, how could we keep me on it? And he's like, well, because you're the town representative or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought it was messy, but he said it was fine. So,
Good night.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been 6 years. We started talking about that and I was like, man, it sure, that went fast. But you're right. It was,
Like Sandy's house.
we did to work on the, what do you call it?
Master
The
plan.
master plan. And oh my goodness, that was a disaster.
Yeah,
And so many of us had no idea what we were doing.
we didn't have a clue.
And and then you had people like Isaac Best was on it at that point, and he was brand new to all the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
This, and
Isaac, yeah.
that was before he was on the